Good evening, YouTube. All right. Well, today we're shooting a little video inside the truck. Y'all already seen the skid that I have on the truck, and so there's no point in showing you that. But tomorrow when we offload, and we'll get video footage of that. But what I wanted to do was shoot a video on how I save money out here on the road. And I'll explain exactly, what I do and why I do it. Obviously, the why is because I'm saving money. But the first portion of this video is gonna be fuel. Fuel is your biggest expense out here on the road. So it's a way, saving money on your fuel is a way to be successful. I usually check my fuel every day to see if the prices have changed and if I should stop at a different location for my fuel. And I'm gonna insert a couple screenshots, that way you can see the fuel prices. Now, don't quote me on these fuel prices. All of this stuff was taken on December 1st, but I'll give you an example and you can look at the photos and see what the prices are. I believe when I got these photos, I was in Florence, South Carolina. And now I got a little piece of paper, so I'm going to read off of it to get you the information that I had, if I believe it's correct. So when I plotted my destination, okay, now this was a destination that I made up. I didn't have a logo on here. It was just to use as reference points. But when I did it, okay, I used the app Fuelbook, which is where I get my prices for the Pilot Flying J fleet card. I believe they call it an actual card now. Well, when I punched in the amount, I'm sorry, not the amount, the location that I was going, it gives me all the different fuel prices at the Pilot Flying J's throughout the whole route. And my cheapest was $3.02 a gallon in Satsuma, Alabama. Well, I also use another app called Mudflap. Okay. And I don't remember the exact location of the fuel stop. You'll be able to see it in the screenshot that I did. But the fuel was $3.16 a gallon. Now, sometimes Mudflap will have a better rate than the Pilot Flying J, but you have to have the money right then and there to get it, because it comes directly off of your debit card. The Pilot Flying J is more like a cash advance. And it seems lately my best prices have been coming from the Pilot Flying J. Now, the date of this video, I actually went to Denham Springs, Louisiana on the Pilot Flying J's website, and their price for fuel, I believe, was $3.49 a gallon. That's if you get no discounts for anything. Okay, so that is what I do to get the best fuel prices that I can out here on the road. Because like I said earlier, your fuel is going to be your biggest expense out here. So if you can keep the speed down, find your cheap fuel stops, ultimately, I don't care what anybody says. I've done the math, you will always save fuel by running slower. Now, I'm gonna give an exception to that rule. My truck will get awesome fuel mileage if I was to run, say, 63 miles per hour on flat ground. If I was to run my truck in the hills at 63 miles per hour, it's going to downshift more. So I find that I don't save fuel by running that speed. Now, my average speed is 65 miles an hour. My truck is not governed at that. I can run my truck up to 72. That was a governing speed that I put on my truck. I don't feel that you need to go any faster than 72 miles per hour. And the only time I'm ever going to do 72 miles per hour would be to pass somebody, and then I drop right back down to 65. Okay? Speed does not make you money out here. And this is my opinion. I don't care what anybody else says. Speed does not make you money. You more than likely will not get more pickup and deliveries from running faster. In the 7 years that I've been doing it, yes, I'm a newcomer to the game. I don't have 30 years behind me. But in the 7 years that I've done it, I have never found that running to a drop and a pickup as fast as humanly possible gets you any more loads for the month, for the year, however you want to put it. All right, so this was my portion of the video for fuel. And we're going to be back in just a second, and we're going to talk about some other topics with how I save money. All right, see y'all in a second. All right, so this is the second portion of the video on how I save money. All right, food and drinks. Now, I got everything written down on a piece of paper, so if you see me looking down, that's because there ain't no way I'm going to remember all of these numbers. But most people know that in the past couple years, food has gotten very expensive at fast food restaurants. And if you try to constantly eat out, well, pretty much you're going to eat up all the money that you're making out here. Everything in the truck stops are expensive. You know, probably 2 to 3 times what you would spend on it if you was to buy it at Walmart or another major grocery store chain. You know, even some of your smaller grocery store chains that aren't as cheap as Walmart are still going to be cheaper than the truck stops. Now, that being said, I'm not saying don't buy anything from the truck stops, because everybody's taste is going to vary. You know, my favorite is the Pure Leaf Extra Sweet Iced Tea. Also chocolate milk. And that is 2 things that I drink a lot of. Now, those 2 bottles that you've seen, I bought inside the truck stop so I could get the prices on a receipt, which will also be in the video. And I'll make sure that I put the receipts with each section and screenshots and stuff like that. All right, so this is what I came up with as far as prices and how much, you know, money you can save by buying food and drinks at a big chain place instead of the truck stops in fast food places. All right, now I'm not saying don't, you know, treat yourself to a good meal out on the road, because everybody's gonna need that. You know, you can't just starve yourself out here and, you know, treat yourself like, well, some people would be what they would consider poor, but, you know, I do okay out here. I am not a millionaire by no means, but I do try to eat at least a sit-down restaurant meal at least once a week, and maybe get like a McDonald's, Wendy's, or something like that when I'm at a truck stop. I don't feel like eating the foods that are in my truck, but I use their apps to find their deals. You know, like McDonald's always has this buy one Big Mac, get a Big Mac for free, and you can mix and match with a quarter pounder with cheese. So, but all right, let's get into the prices that I put together. Okay, now I purchased that sweet tea and I purchased that chocolate milk at the Petro in Florence, South Carolina. I believe that's where it was. All right, the sweet tea was $2.89 for a bottle. If you was to buy the same sweet tea in a 6-pack at Walmart, you would get it for $1.16 a bottle. So you're gonna save $1.73 per bottle. Now, I just came up with another way to save money on my iced tea, which was my better half bought me a gallon of Milo sweet tea, which is about half the cost of the pure leaf sweet tea. All right. Now, the chocolate milk was $3.49 inside the Petro. Walmart has the same size bottle for $2.82. That's a 1 quart, 32 ounces, whatever you want to call it. Not that much of a difference in saving, but it's 67 cents. Now, if you was to drink 3 of those a week, that'd start adding up. All right. Things I also buy is frozen meals. I actually have a freezer that sits up on my top bunk, and I stock it every time I go home with foods for me to eat on the road. I like the Banquet Mega Bowls, and for one of those Mega Bowls is $2.98. I usually eat some bread with it, and if you broke the bread down by the slice, a slice of the bread, which is, I like the Texas toast, is 11 cents a slice. So you come up with $3.20. I also do the tuna snacks, and I will put it in a tortilla wrap. Usually those are just a little snack, you know, to get you by for lunch or something like that. It's not to me, it's not a meal, you know, but the total for that is $1.98. Now, here's the real kicker. And in my opinion, you're going to get the same amount of food to put in your stomach. So, McDonald's meals, now this come from the McDonald's app, they're going to average from $8.50 to $10 for a combo meal. Well, hell, I could eat 3 Banquet Mega Bowls with the bread, 6 slices of bread, and still be cheaper or in the same price range as McDonald's. But I'm getting 3 times the amount of food. If you go to, say, a Denny's, a Iron Skillet, Country Pride, something like that, that's probably the 3 major restaurants that you'll have in truck stops. They have other ones, but those are probably the most common, okay? Their meals are probably anywhere between $15 to $18 for the meal. And that's including your drink. The meals are probably $12 to $15 on an average, unless you want to get steak or something like that. So your average is probably going to be $15 to $18 plus the tip of your waitress if you're not a cheapskate and you're going to tip your waitress. So if you're looking at it like that, you're probably looking at $18 to $21, you know. So that will add up very, very fast out on the roads if you don't try and save money. You know, I don't know too many millionaire truck drivers. You know, there's millionaires that own the truck driving companies, you know, and they might have started with one truck and got themselves 2 trucks, and they don't have to worry about what food costs now because they're a Fortune 500 company, and well, hell, they can eat steak dinner every night of the week. I know I can't. I wish I could, but I can't. And that's just the reality of things. So that is the 2 major ways that I save money out here on the road. Another way of saving money is to properly maintain your truck. You know, you get these guys that wake up in the morning, they start the truck, and they take off. They don't check their tires. They never check the air pressure in their tires. They don't check their load if they're a flatbed. I've seen it. You know, every morning that I wake up, I go around. I don't put an air pressure gauge to my wheels and tires every day, but I do it at least once a week. Check the actual air pressure. Plus, my truck has a air pressure gauge that's in it. All I gotta do is press the buttons and it'll tell me exactly how much air pressure is in each one of my tires. That is a big, big saver. Just maintaining your truck will save you money. Air filters, all of that good stuff. Now, I'm not talking about your cabin air filters. That's just the quality of the air that you're gonna breathe. But like the engine air filter, inflation of your tires correctly, you know, and stuff like that. That's going to save you money because your truck is going to run better. You know, even when my truck is running like shit, okay, I think I average probably about 8 to 8.5 miles to the gallon. Fun average. Right now I'm not doing so hot. I need to change the air filter, and I noticed my fuel mileage was dropping off pretty good. And then I think my truck needs an overhead because it's got some valves that are clattering, and I'm going to try to take care of that during the Christmas break. So, well, I hope everybody enjoyed this video, and that, you know, new guys to the industry can learn something from it. I'm going to try to educate what I know the best that I can. You know, some people say I'm full of shit. You know, hey, that's just their opinion. I'm not telling anybody to do what I do. I'm just telling you what I do to try to save money. So, well, oh, you know what? You know, I always forget to mention this, you know. My beautiful better half, she used to drive. And ever since she had our little boy in March, well, actually a few months prior to that, she had to get off the road because of the pregnancy and stuff like that. And she is currently pregnant with our second one. But, you know, she still likes to stay in the thick of the truck driving industry. So she decided she wanted to dispatch. So if there's anyone out there that's looking for a dispatcher, she's charging 3% of the negotiated rate. No weekly fees or anything like that. So, you know, if you go home for a week, you know, you're not paying for the services. So I just wanted to throw that out there because like I said, she's trying to stay in the thick of things. She'll come ride with me every now and then. You know, it's only been maybe 2 or 3 times since she's got off the road. But maybe eventually, you know, I'll pick up another truck and I'll give her baby girl, which is what she calls it, and she'll be able to run this truck locally as she sees fit. So, all right. Well, if y'all like what y'all see, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, do all of that good rigmarole, and I'll see y'all later.